Hi, how's it going? This is Matthew from England.
Matthew from England. Matthew, what the heck is going on in your country? I don't understand it. Any of it.
Well, am I allowed to swear?
Yes. If you do it with a British accent and
clusterfuck.
the transcripts can't pick it up, go ahead.
Well, I'm South African. It's a clusterfuck, actually. It's a little bit embarrassing, really. It's the second time I've lived in a country that the premier has been found to be breaking the law by the highest court in the land. And my green card comes through soon, so maybe I'll be 3 for 3.
There you go. Congratulations. Oh, green card from the United States. That's right. Yeah, you certainly bring some luck. So,
Yeah.
so what is was that? Is that what you were calling in to just to tell us that you are the harbinger?
Well, yeah, not really, no. I was just calling in basically first to give props to my girl, Greta Thunberg. Unfortunately, I'm a public servant, so I can't be joining in on the climate strikes, but I think she's an embodiment of maybe an energy that was there in young people, but she's also, her personality has amplified that energy. It kind of comes soon enough. We need a lot more pressure, basically. As a Tory, who we'd probably disagree with, but he's a very smart politician by the name of Ken Clark said, is on climate change. Sadly, politicians don't lead; they will only follow where the voters go. And so the voters and the public have to put serious pressure on politicians and businesses to just be making these changes.
Yeah, I agree. I think she's been very inspiring to a lot of young people too. And I think, with something like this, you don't really see the impact of it until you're some distance away in terms of time to see what is inspired by it. But I appreciate the call, and I'm now going to play a clip that gives you a sense of what the right is doing in response to Greta Thunberg. We played the clips of her yesterday chastising the UN, basically saying, like, don't come here and condescend. Don't get all sentimental at how cute it is that a 16-year-old girl is come across the ocean. This is not about, this is not a feel-good movie of the summer. This is about you people doing your job so that I don't have to do this type of thing. And in addition to the right blaming her for anxiety rates in Europe, this is the tack they're going to take here. Michael Knowles, he's really desperately trying to create a name for himself in the Ben Shapiro world of right-wing talk.
Another failed actor, right?
He's another failed actor. I mean, let me put it this way. Like, arguably, I'm a failed actor. I was so much more successful than a Michael Knowles. And when I went into this, I did so thinking I was only going to do it for 6 months. I was still turning down film roles and still writing scripts. And I was in LA shooting a TV show when I got called to do this. I've seen Michael Knowles reel, and he was not a bad actor. He wasn't doing anything. It was all, sort of like home movie type of stuff or small, probably student films. But the guy didn't have the wherewithal, and I think it was probably a smart move on his part. But here he is, desperately trying. I mean, how do you push back on an incredibly articulate, brave 16-year-old who is trying to draw attention to climate change, who's basically, has just told the UN, your delusion of perpetual economic growth is just that. How do you push back on this? Well, of course, you do the same thing you do in regards to everyone else that you look down upon as a conservative. Black people, Latino people, women who speak up, they're all being used, right? That is the formulation. In fact, it's also the formulation of white nationalists. right? The Jews, the problem with the Jews is they're race traders, and they are getting the black people to do their bidding. Well, this is part of that. Michael Knowles tries to set the predicate for Greta Thunberg, has no idea what she's doing. She's being manipulated.
Matters because the climate hysteria movement is not about science. If it were about science, it would be led by scientists rather than by politicians and a mentally ill Swedish child who is being exploited by her parents and by the international left. So what you're seeing here is a political movement and a religious movement, and it's fulfilling religious and political goals of the left, but it isn't doing very much for science.
Chris, you had a visceral reaction to that. Go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, you're a grown man and you're attacking a child. Shame on you. She's trying to do what she thinks is right. And by the way, now, relax, skinny boy. I got this, okay? You're attacking a child. You're a grown man. Have some cool.
I'm not. I'm attacking the left for exploiting a mentally ill child.
Maybe on your podcast, you get away and say whatever you want because nobody's listening. You're on national television. Be a grown-up when you're talking about children. She's trying to save the planet because your president doesn't believe in climate change, and kids need to take to the streets to worry about their future. You are despicable for talking to her about her like that, and you should apologize on national television right now.
I think the international left and her parents who are exploiting a girl with many mental illnesses.
You called her mentally ill. Take it back now.
First off, okay, all right, so we don't need to hear any more about this. So she has Asperger's, which in no way would suggest that her parents have the ability to manipulate her to believe that climate change is a problem. It is, I think it's conceivable that
evidence-based commentary.
Right. Her intrepidness in facing people on the world stage may in some way be a function of her Asperger's that may help her in some way in having that type of guts. But the idea that you would get up and say that she's mentally ill, that's why she cares about climate change and that she's being exploited is it's pretty shocking. Now, of course, we know what happens to scientists who go in the forefront of this. Ask Michael Mann, who's just buried. And I think he just won his lawsuit, actually. But I mean, the idea that now they're saying, well, what about the scientists? And it's all the hysteria. This is what you can track from denial to denying that it's man-made to, well, they're getting so emotional about it. Michael Knowles is no longer going to be on Fox News. I wonder how long that is going to be. But Fox News announced that they just
big loss.
Yeah, that he crossed the one apparently standard they have there.
Does he know how many people are living with a mental illness of some kind? Like, it's ableist as shit in addition to everything else.
Of course. He's trying to make it like she has no capacity. It is simply like, how desperate do you have to be to push back on this? And it is really basically the same. They need to come up with this because they need to come up with, like, how is she being manipulated? She's too old. She's shown that she has too much competence to sort of say that in general. It's just like she has no idea what she's doing. She has some type of mental illness. Meanwhile, Fox has said that Michael Knowles is not welcome back on their network. They won't book him again, according to Fox. Now, we'll see how long that lasts. But maybe they should also just keep watching the rest of their network. Because Laura Ingraham, who still has a show on there, I don't know how many advertisers she has, she couldn't let it lie either. Now, to be fair to Fox, their president is about to be impeached. or at least to start to go through the impeachment process, they may not want to talk about that. So it's a little bit easier to attack a young woman. That is, I would say, if you could find the Bible to Fox News and boil it down to one commandment as to making it is always find a young female villain. Here is Laura Ingraham fulfilling the first Fox commandment.
The world is waking up, and change is coming whether you like it or not.
Anyone else find that chilling?
A time of tribulation has come. A test is at hand. The final test.
I can't wait for Stephen King's sequel, Children of the Climate.
There you go. She's comparing Greta Thunberg to Children of the Corn.
Wow. Glass houses, fascist Stepford wife.
Indeed. That's pretty good. I mean, it's all just part of what they need to do to address this. It's pretty stunning. It's pretty stunning.